Now on the Locked On Celtics podcast, the Boston Celtics overcome Joe Mazzulla's stupidity. His words, to beat the Miami Heat.
Locked On Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Where is your team every day? Your team is the Boston Celtics. I talk about them every day, Monday through Friday, plus this bonus podcast when they play on a Friday night or a Saturday night. So make sure you're subscribed. Get the show wherever you get podcasts. It's on YouTube as well. Watch it there. Get into the comment section. Share your thoughts with me. If you're new to the show, I'm John Karalis. I'm a beat writer covering the Boston Celtics for Sports Illustrated's Celtics on SI. I've been covering the Celtics for about 20 years now. I've been doing this podcast for 10, and I've written a couple of books about the team. This is a nice win for the Boston Celtics. I'm here at TD Garden. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see. I like stepping aside and saying, there's the beautiful parquet. If you're listening, just picture the beautiful parquet. Celtics get the win 98-96. Later on, I'll get to this is going to be an abbreviated bonus podcast. I like to do a little shorter bonus podcast on the weekend. Later on, we'll get into Payton Pritchard and Derrick White and all of that stuff. Joe talking about his stupidity. And well, let's just get right to that because it plays into the whole slow start where the Celtics came out, did not look good at all, could not hit anything. They shot 1 for 20 in the first half of this game against Miami. They just couldn't hit anything. They looked slow. They looked lost. They looked unlike a team. Like I was watching them in that first half, and I'm thinking, like, did this trade just break them somehow? Did they all of a sudden forget how to play basketball? They didn't look anything like the team, especially the team that we saw in Houston. That they didn't look anywhere close to that. In fact, they looked like the team that I think a lot of people thought they would be when they said, well, this is the Celtics team that could be in the play-in. This is a team that probably we don't expect much from them. That team that we saw in the first half, I thought that was going to be like, that's what they look like. And it didn't make any sense to me. And then as the third quarter went on, I tweeted it out. I said, the double big is not working with this group right now. And they started Hauser, Garza, Queta, Jaylen, and Derrick. And the double big Garza and Queta, it just not against Miami. It didn't work against Miami. It worked great against Houston. I thought that Houston game was just an incredible performance. Can't say enough about how they played against the Rockets. But against Miami, Miami was too small. And I know in the past, double big has worked for the Celtics, but that was Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis. That was two very different bigs. We're talking here about Queta and Garza. And if the matchup isn't right, like I saw Queta switching on to Davion Mitchell, and that just went poorly. Asking these guys to guard in space is too much to do too often. Hey, every once in a while, sure, it's going to happen, right? Every once in a while, a cross match, a transition, a switch because you have to switch. Just you have no choice. It's not the plan. But sometimes just big switches onto a small, and you're like, okay, got to deal with it. But doing that on purpose was not working. And why they looked slow, Joe Mazzulla after the game said, I overprepared. I overthought this. And, they brought Nikola Vucevic in, who ended up coming off the bench, 11 points, 12 rebounds, 6 offensive, 6 defense rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. At first it looked like, this is not going well for Vooch. And then middle of the third quarter for the rest of the game, it became, oh, okay, yes, this is actually very good. This works. This works. That overthinking, that I guess the way Joe said it was, when he said my stupidity, they overcame my stupidity. I'm paraphrasing. He did use the words my stupidity, but he was just kind of like making the point that when you had a new guy and you're working him in and he's looking at the matchups, this might, well, they could do this and they could do that and they could do that and they could do that. And we're going to prepare for A, B, C, D, E. And after a while, it just became clear that we need to focus on A and B. And if C, D, or E come up, we'll deal with it. But right now we got to deal with this. And the Celtics, when I saw them looking slow and discombobulated, I couldn't figure it out. It's because they were thinking too much on the floor. Jaylen Brown said it after the game. I was overthinking. I was trying too hard to do this. And it became counterproductive, right? You prepare to a point, but we've all been there. Every one of us has been at whatever job that we do. And you say, okay, you're new, right? You're new at the job. And so either you or a coworker or whatever, it gets overwhelmed. There's just so much information where once you get to a certain point, you just eyes start to glaze over and you go, wait a minute, what am I supposed to be over here? No, wait, I'm over here. No, wait. And it gets you to a point where there's so much to do that you do none of it, right? Everybody understands that concept. That's kind of what was happening on the floor for the Celtics. And then on top of that, trying a little too hard to work Vooch into things. And on top of that, shooting god awful from three. I think they missed their first three in the third quarter, so they were 1 of 21 at one point. As Derrick White after the game was like, 1 for 21 is bad. We probably shouldn't do that again, which primo advice from Derrick White. And ultimately, in the first half, that sums up the first half. And there's really not much to talk about after that in the first half. Second half, the Celtics got away from the double big. It was about 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Celtics were down 19. It was like 67 to 46, 67 to 45, something like that. And all of a sudden they said, that was at the height of it. Garza comes out, Queta comes out, Pritchard and Vooch come in. Boom, 25-5 run. All of a sudden, the Celtics were up 2. They gave up a layup at the end. They end up going to the fourth quarter tied at 74. They went from down 22 to tied when they just simplified. They just got away from the double bigs, and they said, all right, fine. Miami started switching, punish the switches. Vucevic spent the first half kind of like posting up and trying to post up, and they just weren't seeing them, weren't finding them. In the second half, very simple entry passes, get it up high, catch high, finish high, and he was just getting layup after layup after layup. And then Pritchard starts cooking. A couple of threes start to fall, right? Eventually the shots start to you start to feel good. Jaylen hits a 3, Pritchard hits a 3, Derrick hits a 3. Now all of a sudden it starts to cascade. Vooch comes in, he gets a few easy buckets. The momentum starts carrying over and over and over. And Miami, which they've not been a great third quarter team. They've been inconsistent. Before the game, Spoelstra was talking about, like, we need to be consistent. We need to put it all together. We have our runs, our spurts. Like, we're great in bits, but we're inconsistent. And it all played out exactly like that here. The Celtics put up 38 points in the first half. Miami scored 37 in the second half. It's like this basket, which is right over my shoulder here, my left shoulder. This is the basket in front of the Boston Celtics bench. When the Celtics was shooting there in the first half, they couldn't hit a thing. When Miami switched over there in the second half, they couldn't hit a thing. It's like That basket was cursed in this game. For some reason, someone put a hex on that basket, and the team shooting there couldn't break 40 points and a half. So weird. But Boston was able to, first of all, ramp up their defense and make the plays. Derrick White was incredible in the second half. He was terrible in the first half. I mean, the worst I've seen Derrick White play, which is confusing, right? That's the confusing part. You watch a game like this, and well, you know what? I'll get to Derrick White. I'll get to Payton Pritchard. I'll get to some of these individual performances. We'll do that when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by DoorDash. Season's heating up. DoorDash has a way to keep fans in their bag the whole way through, whether you're watching the highlights, watching the tunnel fits, or just checking in on your favorite player. DoorDash makes the whole season fun. Every player has their bag, and with DoorDash, you have one too. DoorDash keeps your snacks stocked, your gear fresh, and your watch party vibes absolutely on point. So if you're stressed out by your team, like maybe the first half at halftime, you order DoorDash and they come in with some dessert, halftime dessert. Can't beat that. Then, hey, time to celebrate. The Celtics just won this game. Big, tough game, clutch win. And you need what? Chips, you need snacks. DoorDash has that as well. Do you need a phone charger? Do you need socks? Do you need whatever? It's there on DoorDash. So check it out. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order on DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, gear, whatever you want throughout the season delivered right to your door. DoorDash in your bag all season long. Today's show is also brought to you by Quo. Business owners know that it's a new year, you get new systems, and this is the time to take a look at what needs to be better. Are things messy? Are you saying to yourself there has to be a better way? Well, there is. Streamlining your communications is the quickest upgrade you can make, and that's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Quo, the smarter way to run your business communications. Because when your team is reachable, organized, and communicating in one place, you're not working just cleaner, you're creating more opportunities to connect with customers. I know when a customer tries to call, I have had this experience plenty of times. You talk to one person, they say one thing. You talk to another person, they say another thing. It's like they don't communicate. It's like they're not on the same page. Quo fixes that. Your team can call and text from the same number, a shared business number, so nothing gets missed. The full conversation thread is right there. Makes replies faster and more personal. And you can use it right from your phone or your computer, so you can keep your existing number as well. It's no surprise that Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses, from solo operators to growing teams. Make this the year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free and get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/LockedOnNBA. That's quo.com/LockedOnNBA. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. You're an everydayer joining me Monday through Friday. I do appreciate that. Thank you for being an everydayer. You want to join the Everydayer Club? How about this deal? Use the code Vucevic at lockedonceltics.supercast.com. Vucevic, the new guy's name, Vucevic, and you get a free month. You've got until February 9th. So you got a couple more days to use the code Vucevic and get a free month. That's $5. You can get, you pay $5 a month if you want. You can pay $50 for the year and get access to our Discord server, chats for Celtics fans, for NBA fans. Ad-free audio is the big thing, which is compatible with every podcasting app, all the major ones. So check that out. LockedOnCeltics.supercast.com. Use the code Vucevic for a free month. Derrick White, the contrast between the first half and the second half was incredible. You could see it in his head. You know, sometimes he doesn't have the best poker face. There was a play where I forget who it was that he fouled. He just trucked a 3-point shooter, and he knew it as it happened at the 3-point line, and he just kept on walking all the way down the court, down to the other 3-point line, to the Celtics bench, because they reviewed it and called it a flagrant foul. And he was just like muttering to himself the whole time. It was just very clear he was frustrated. He knew he was not playing well. Second half, things changed. He hits a couple of shots, he defends, and he makes the two biggest plays of the game. A shot on a pass from Vucevic. Well, I'll get to Vucevic in a second. He makes a shot in the corner, the three, go-ahead shot, game-winning shot, really. It's like baseball when you say the game-winning RBI and it comes in like the sixth inning. The game-winning shot was 1:31 to go, and no one scored the rest of the way because Derrick White blocked Davion Mitchell at the rim with 31 seconds to go, preserving the lead. Thankfully, not tying the game, because who knows? It's almost 2 a.m. We might still be playing basketball here if he didn't block that shot. So anyway, Derrick White was huge. Payton Pritchard, like I said before, was really good. His ability to just he was, like I said in the last podcast, he was born to come off this bench, born to be a six man. He's perfect in that role. And once again, he had 24 points, 8 of 15 shooting, 8 of 5 would have been very impressive. How you shoot 8 of 5, I don't know, but Payton Pritchard could probably figure it out. 8 of 15, 4 of 6 and 3, 4 from the line. So Pritchard did a great job. Vucevic, like I said, 11 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. The 12 rebounds, he's not a big offensive rebounder, but he was in there. He was boarding. Like, it's going to be interesting to see how he impacts Luka Garza now. This is going to be a little bit of the song and dance with Queta. We talked about it in the last podcast a little bit. Does Vooch start? Does he come off the bench? He came off the bench in this one. Don't know how it's going to go for the season, but it could change. Queta has been great as a starter. Does it work? Does it make more sense for him to come off the bench or I don't know. The Garza stuff, well, his strength is the offensive rebounding. Vucevic's strength is like the defensive rebounding. So you'd think, hey, if you need one or the other, you can put whichever guy you need in. But Vooch came in there and grabbed 6 offensive rebounds. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to see from Garza. How much Garza is going to be used? Is it going to be a lot? Is it going to be a little? Is he going to start getting DMPs again? Who knows? But right now, what happened in this game was Garza and Queta came out in the middle of the third, and then Garza didn't come back in again. He was done for the night. Queta came back in, and they kind of subbed him in and out. But it really was mostly Vucevic that was the primary guy to close this out. The passing from Vooch is an underrated part of his game. You saw a few passes. There was a great pass on a backdoor cut from Hugo Gonzalez. I love a good backdoor cut. There are a couple of others. He made a couple of other plays like that got missed, but Vooch found that. He found a couple of shooters. He had 4 assists. I'm curious to see what the potential assists were, because I would bet that he had probably at least 2 or 3 more. He could have had 7 or 8 assists in this game. So that ultimately is going to be a thing that the Celtics can rely on. He can be a nice hub in the high posts, kind of like Al Horford. I think the Al Horford comp is going to be the best one for how Vooch is going to be used offensively. Certainly not going to be the same defensively. That's a whole different thing, and that's what makes Al Horford, so good. But offensively, his skill set fits right in as far as the screen, short roll, rolling all the way to the basket, posting up, shooting the 3. All of that stuff is going to be really interesting and helpful for the Celtics. So, but the passing was really good, and he had the assist on Derrick White's pass there. Ugo, there was one play from Hugo Gonzalez that I have to, the steal in was it the first quarter? The steal up the right sideline, the off the dribble, just in rhythm pass. I just don't know how he saw it, how he made that play. The dude was running full speed up the right sideline and then whipped a pass that had to go straight. I don't know how you're moving forward, but find a pass from right to left that goes completely straight. It was incredible. Right on the money to Jaylen Brown. Jaylen got fouled, but that play, when I sit there and I say that kid is going to be special, that play sums it up. Look that play up, because instincts to make the pass, the steal, the whole thing was top notch. Let's see who else individually. Sam Hauser, bad shooting night, happens. Vooch was a plus 11. Baylor Shireman plus 17 in a 2-point win, plus 17. Hit a couple of shots, but the rebounding, 7 rebounds, a block shot in that third quarter run, just out of nowhere, chase down block, incredible play. His defense and rebounding will be that's keeping him on the floor. So good job by him. Queta, the one thing I want to highlight for Queta, and I tweeted this out as well, and it's on Blue Sky as well. There was one play that he got the ball in the dunker spot. Hard for me to describe this, but back in December against Milwaukee, he got the ball in that dunker spot, and he tried to like finesse a reverse layup, and it just got blocked, and it was bad. In this game, he got the ball in the dunker spot, which if you don't know the dunker spot, it's on the baseline. It's like you're kind of like behind the basket a little bit, but that's where you get the dump off. So you're like, it should be like kind of even with the basket, kind of a little bit below on the baseline. He caught it and did the exact thing you're supposed to do. It's a great improvement. It was the exact same play. I hadn't seen it since. He used his body. You kind of like jump backwards. So you're facing the baseline and you jump backwards into the defender, and that creates the space. You kind of like jut your butt out into the defender's leg. He kind of moves back, and then you get to finish that shot. He did that in this game. I was like, that is progress. So I didn't think Queta had like the best game in the world, but he had 11 rebounds. It was okay, but he was part of like the confusion. It was not the best game. He did get the 11 rebounds, the 4 offensive rebounds. So he was decent. But that one play, I'm highlighting that because it's just a great sign of progress for him. So nice to see that. Ultimately, this is the Celtics working Vucevic in, not looking great for a half, but turning it around, figuring it out. And as Jaylen said, it's great to be able to figure this stuff out and get a win. Also, the New York Knicks lost, so the Celtics are alone in second place. So that's good. Next game is Super Bowl Sunday at 12:30. So I will have a podcast for you, hopefully before the Super Bowl starts, which if you want to listen to a podcast on Super Bowl Sunday, you can. If you don't care about the Super Bowl, listen to my podcast or watch my podcast. If you care about the Super Bowl, listen to it after or watch it after. And hopefully the Patriots win. Sorry, non-Patriots fans. I'm a Patriots fan. But whatever it is, thank you for subscribing to this show. Thank you for listening to and watching this show. Tell your friends that they should be doing the same. Please share the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast. It's here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.